Okay, I want you to try again. This time you've got to say Views from the Sofa presents. Go for it.
Views from the Sofa presents.
Perfect. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of That Movie List podcast. And today we're presenting another classic episode. This one back from all the way in September 2019. So not too far back, but far enough back that we were still the Views from the Sofa podcast. But we were doing some top 5 lists, and this episode me and Dave count down the top 5 movies that should have sequels. It's a bit of a random one. It wasn't just about lists. There were quizzes as well, and we have a bit of an unusual moment with the quiz this episode, which I won't spoil here. And hopefully next time we'll be back with another list, a fresh list, a brand new list. But until that point, here is top 5 movies that should have sequels back from September 2019. Enjoy. We got a top 5 list as we always do.
Oh yeah, thank God.
And the top 5
the podcast are we?
35 minutes.
3 hours. Okay.
Yeah, was it right? People don't even know it's that. They're like, oh my God, 35 minutes. I'm enjoying it so much. It's for our falsetto listeners.
Well, our listeners are 4 years old. It's the right sort of humour.
Yeah, fair. But before we do that, I've got a quiz because our top 5 we're doing today are movies that should have had sequels.
Yes.
So movies that should have had sequels but never did.
Yep.
So I've got a sequel-based quiz.
Okay.
And rather than do what we usually do, which is forget about our quizzes and then do them both at the end together,
Yep.
This quiz fits well before our lists.
Interesting.
Okay. Now, what does all good sequels have, Dave?
Some of the characters in the first one, but not all of them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, maybe you could go with that if you want.
Go on.
Taglines.
Oh, nice.
So a good, not taglines, like a good post-colon thing.
It's happened.
Is this your same quiz?
We
We're
have
doing
the same
quiz. Now mine is, and I hope yours is too, I've got the post-colon thing, and you've got to guess the film.
Yeah. I've got the same.
You got the same quiz.
I've got the same quiz. This is brilliant.
Wow! I wonder how many episodes that's taken.
I wonder if we've got any that we can alternate. So
I think we
you
should
do
alternate.
one and I'll do one.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Okay. Well,
Now,
this could work out quite well.
As an intro, I went really obvious just to make sure
me
everyone
too.
knew. I want to know if you went for the same obvious that I went for.
This is going to be turning into such a boring geeky quiz because we've been the same one. Go on. Yeah. Okay.
Die Harder?
Oh no, I didn't go for that one. I thought that was too obvious.
Okay, so mine was
that's
just
Die
the
Hard.
intro, so that's Die Hard.
Yeah.
So what did you go for?
Pig in the City.
Oh, Babe. Pig in the City. Okay, good. All right. Now, have you done what I've done as well, which is in some of these gone really random just because it's really, some of these are ridiculously funny?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, we got a few of these, so we might rattle through them.
I've got 6 more.
Oh, I got loads more.
Okay.
I'll just pick random ones. We'll see what you've got. So go for it.
Well, no, you go first because you went first with your...
Cruise Control.
Is that Speed 2?
It is Speed 2.
Literally the one under Pig in the City on my list.
Okay. You pick one now.
The Squeakquel.
That's number 7 or 8 on my list. Alvin and the Chipmunks 2.
Yes, it is, yeah. Brilliant.
Money Never Sleeps.
Ooh, I haven't got that one.
That one's a difficult one.
Money Never Sleeps.
So I've got some easies and I've got some difficults and I've got some funnies.
Money Never Sleeps.
Ironically, a film that you wouldn't necessarily think should have a sequel.
Jerry Maguire.
Good shout. It's not. It's Wall Street.
My list. Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Oh, Wall Street.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Similar type of area, but yeah, Wall Street.
Okay, nice.
Money Never Sleeps.
I
Go on then,
remember.
throw one at me.
The Quest for Peace.
Oh, Superman 4.
Yeah, what an awful superhero film.
Terrible film. Do you know where that was filmed?
Go on.
Milton Keynes.
Brilliant.
They shipped over American bins and American telephone boxes and filmed it on the streets of Milton Keynes.
Nice.
That's when you know you're in. That's when Christopher Reeve must know, oh my God. Turn down Village of the Damned 2 for this. The Revenge.
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a third movie, and it's an animal-based horror of a creature that would not seek revenge.
The Fly.
No. Jaws.
Jaws.
3, The Revenge.
Brilliant.
Starring Michael Caine, who famously, when someone said, Michael, Jaws 3 is clearly your worst movie, and he said, yes, but it bought my swimming pool. Fair enough. Okay. Can't argue with that.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Right. Armed and Fabulous.
Miss Congeniality 2.
Yeah, very good.
I don't know if I'm
that wasn't on your list. That's good.
Wasn't on my list. Red, White and Blonde.
That's Legally Blonde.
Yes, it is.
2. Yes.
You got it on your list?
No, but I did see that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the Habit.
That's on my list here. Sister Act 2.
Yeah, very good.
I'm gonna go for a couple of funnies then.
Okay.
Your Sister is a Werewolf.
American Werewolf in London or whatever it was.
Close enough. I'm not expecting you to get it, so I just like this one.
Teen Wolf.
It's called The Howling.
Oh, nice.
But I just like the idea of The Howling. Your Sister is a Werewolf. Like, that's the title of the movie. Just, alright, okay, yeah. That's pretty much, that's clear then. Your Sister is a Werewolf.
The Howling, you're adopted.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. That's the twist. It's just, they were never your family. She's not really your sister. Go on and give us a throw. Is that,
I've got one more.
Throw one more at me then.
Son of.
The Mask.
Yeah, The Mask.
Yeah.
Very good.
I watched that recently. We talked about The Mask recently, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to throw a couple more at you just because I think they're funny.
Go on then.
Badasses.
Badasses.
And that's the subtitle, or whatever you would call it.
I don't know. Something about donkeys?
No, it's clearly the sequel to Badass. Badass 2,
okay.
Badasses.
Brilliant.
Another one. This one, because it's just so silly. Ghosts of Georgia. Ghosts of Georgia. Very famous subtitle to a sequel, this one, but for all the wrong reason.
I don't know.
It's The Haunting in Connecticut 2.
Is Connecticut in Georgia?
Nope. Not even close. Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghosts of Georgia. And some other ones I feel they're Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze.
Oh, Secret of the Ooze.
Secret of the Ooze.
I don't know.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Oh, yes, I did see that, yes.
When Nature Calls.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, and the last one I'm going to throw at you, I Want to Believe.
X-Files.
Yeah, the X-Files sequel, the terrible X-Files sequel. I can't believe it happened.
Yeah, we've done it at last.
Finally happened.
We can
both
finally
had
stop the
same
podcast.
quiz. That's it now, it's over.
Yep.
That's it. Thank you for listening.
Jinx.
And yeah. So movies that should have had sequels.
Yeah.
Was this a difficult one for you?
I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was.
Yeah.
With a bit of research, it was all right. But
Have you got any honourable mentions? Because I found there was lots of honourable mentions.
no, I didn't put in any honourable mentions this time. I sort of got my nice, concise list.
And I recently watched a film that then was an honourable mention. I literally watched this film last week, and that's jumped into my list from the honourable mentions. I'm like, I really want to see it. So
Lady in the Tramp 2.
I think that's clearly happened. Call the old Disney. They are doing a live action Lady in the Tramp.
Yeah, that would be good. Something Netflix, is it, or Disney Channel?
No, it's Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus, yeah.
Which I'm not going to pay for. I should though, because it's got all the Marvel and Star Wars stuff. Not for any of the Disney stuff,
No.
just the Marvel and Star Wars things. I shouldn't be tempted, but yeah. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
But what I propose we do, so related to our quiz,
Here we go.
is we should come up with what the sequel should be called in the same style as our quiz questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I'd go with this.
Okay, right. So I haven't done this in advance, by the way. I thought about this last night, just as I was going to sleep. Thought I'll do that in the morning, then totally forgot about it until we're doing the quiz.
Okay.
So I'm going to be thinking on the hop as well.
All right.
So my number 5 is Adam Sandler classic, Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
I think that could easily be a sequel. He could be a good golfer. He could be a
Yeah.
pro golfer on the tour.
Would you change the sport? Because that would naturally be like you would go a bit Mighty Ducks. So you go, well, he's a good golfer.
Yeah.
The guy can hit a puck.
Yeah.
And even have, because how good would Happy Gilmore be with hockey, where he's actually got rage?
Yeah.
And
But that was it. He wanted to be a hockey player, didn't he?
is that what it is? I've
He
not
wanted
seen
to
the
be
film in forever.
He wanted to be a hockey player, which is why he hit the golf ball in that hockey style.
Oh, of course.
So I think if we'd having left it this long since the first one, I think you could change the sport and sort of reboot it almost, as opposed to a sequel.
Would you have Adam Sandler still though?
No, I don't think so. Not now. I think you need somebody else.
Okay, son of Gilmore.
Yeah, someone like Sean William Scott could be quite good in this. Sort of that.
Yeah, he's got
person.
Goon though, hasn't he? He's got the ice hockey one that he does.
Yeah, but true. Maybe that's
know.
what I think of him.
Okay, so Happy Gilmore.
There's
What
legs.
would you call it then?
Happy Goes Lucky.
Happy Goes Lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I'll go with that. Mine's a very different take. This is the one that kind of got inserted, kind of got put in. And mine's a sequel to Leon.
Ooh, interesting.
So Leon, the film by Luc Besson, that's the hitman who has to take in a young girl played by Natalie Portman and save her when Gary Oldman executes her whole family.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Yeah,
I watched that this weekend. It's absolutely incredible. And all the way through I'm thinking, the film I'd see, and I'd call it, this one's technically called Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
I'd call it Matilda the Professional. And it would be her, and I would have her be an assassin who then trains someone else. But as the twist, I'd have the person she trained turn on her. As opposed to whatever. But, I'd do it, but I want to see that continuation. I think that's a film that it's almost kind of crying out for a sequel, really. It just feels, it doesn't need one, but it just feels like a sequel here would work. So that's what I would go with. Matilda the Professional.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the name as well.
Number 4?
My number 4 is another classic.
Yep.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Really? Okay.
Mrs. Doubtfire could work.
All right. Yeah, no, it would. How would you do it?
I'd probably change the lead character. Lead actor.
Would you?
Yep, I think that.
Let's move quickly on.
I think we need. I don't know. I think there's an opportunity of doing that in the Me Too environment.
Okay.
In sort of the new, well, not new, the more enlightened phase we're in now.
Yeah.
Where it would be treated in a different way now than it was in the mid-90s when the film was out.
There's a film similar to that touches upon that a little bit that could probably would be better for a remake, called Tootsie. You ever heard of that? Starring Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
And he has moments where he gets sexually harassed, but the gag is someone's sexually harassing a bloke.
Yeah.
And it's not treated like it should be, which is, the bloke should turn around and go, God, I can't believe that this is what women have to go through. It's more like, stop touching my ass, I'm a bloke.
Yeah.
And it's just,
that's interesting.
And I think if you kind of mix the both, there's something in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mrs. Doubtfire, but it's focused on a little bit more like the bloke living like a woman, really, that kind of thing.
There is still a comedy in there, I think.
Yeah.
In that content.
There was going to be a Mrs. Doubtfire sequel. They wanted. He was signing on to do that. He was looking to do that, but obviously his death kind of put a stop to things. But I think that was the next film he was doing.
Oh, right,
I think Mrs. Doubtfire too. I think it made its way forward. So it's one that was on its way. So
yeah, there you go. So I would call that. I think I might just call that Mrs. Doubtfire 2.
Mrs. Doubtfire 2. The book's called Madam Doubtfire.
Okay, that's a good shout. Yeah, just change that.
So change that to Madam Doubtfire.
Yeah.
So
I like that, Madam Doubtfire.
You could switch it. You could have Mr. Doubtfire.
Yeah, you could. That'd be interesting.
Could switch it and have a woman play a bloke.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know if the humour's the same though. It sounds bad, but I don't know if the humour's the same there.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, okay. Madam Doubtfire. Let's do it.
Mrs. Doubtifire's an amazing movie. My 4th pick is
A sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Nice. Okay.
I can't believe it's not been done.
Yeah, that should have been done.
It's so ripe for everything. I mean, it's the idea of humans and cartoon characters in the same world.
Yeah.
And before it was a done thing for characters to share the same universe, in inverted commas,
Yeah.
this did it. You had Dumbo flying around the same place that Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck were,
Yeah.
with all these other characters that have now become kind of in the pop culture reference and everything. It just seems like there's a whole world where you could set another story.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? And I just think it's a missed opportunity, particularly because there is so much more in the animation now. There's so many more characters that Disney could pull from, that Warner Brothers could pull from. And if you were clever enough to bring a couple of animated studios together,
Yeah.
and say, well, let's use your group of characters, let's use my group of characters, just as cameos,
Yeah.
and then have Roger Rabbit in the middle of it.
Yeah, you could even keep the animation styles the same, couldn't you?
I think so. I think that if anything, that'd be better to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it CGI. I think for the audience it's probably aimed at, that would be worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
I
have
agree.
it CGI. If anything, you want it to be the same, and you want a character to be obviously
To look like a cartoon.
you want it to look like a cartoon, like an old-fashioned classic cartoon. So, yeah,
That's a good choice.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I mean, what would you call that?
Would you still have Roger Rabbit as the lead?
I think you still have Roger Rabbit the lead. I think
Even
you
though he's
probably
not
go.
really a
You
big
probably go with
character.
something like Who Framed Jessica Rabbit
Yeah. Okay.
and switch it,
Nice.
and then have her locked up, and he's got to try and work out who's framed her. The only problem is it'd be sad to do it without Bob Hoskins. That's a big miss,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not impossible. So yeah, that's what I would have.
Good shout. Okay.
Your number 3.
So my number 3 is what I think is a massively underrated film, and it has a bad press, unjustifiably.
Right.
Waterworld. Honestly, Waterworld is a good film.
It's all right.
I think it's pretty good.
It's a bit up its own arse a bit.
It's a bit long.
It is long.
It's a long
But it's a Kevin Costner movie. Kevin Costner doesn't make films less than 2 hours.
That's true. You get your money's worth for Kevin.
Oh, don't you? Don't you? Jesus.
But yeah, I think there's a potential there. I think there's an opportunity in that world, in the world where there is no land or very little land. I think there's a whole. I seem to be going political on my things that are all like.
Yeah, you are a bit, aren't you?
There's a political statement to be made there in the Waterworld, and
It was definitely made before its time.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've not seen Waterworld in years. Is global warming the reason that it's water everywhere? I'm not convinced it is.
I don't think it is. I'm not sure it's even explained.
No, I don't think it's explained. Or if it, I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done as well as it could be done.
It's not memorably done.
No, it's not. It's not clearly. I just remember Kevin Costner with essentially flippers for feet.
Yeah.
Does he have gills?
Yes, he had girls.
Gills
He had
and webbed feet, doesn't he?
He had effectively an adopted daughter and a girlfriend in it as well.
And Dennis Hopper just goes crazy for 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's ambitious, that movie.
It is. Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
It's ambitious.
And there's a lot of, like, doing it now, sort of 20, 25 years on, you could do so much more with the effects and the whole world setting. I think there's a lot of potential in having just because there's no. I was going to say there's no pirate films, but Pirates of the Caribbean, but there's
not
no.
proper, is
that's
it?
not a pirate film.
No,
is
it's
it?
not.
So there's nothing that's set at sea really
No.
that I can think of, and I think there's so many opportunities and so many stories there that could be told that haven't been yet.
It's almost ruined the obvious. It's almost ruined an obvious dystopian future as well. I think people won't touch it because of Waterworld. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, maybe.
the obvious thing is we keep being told that the ice caps will melt, the sea levels will rise, literally parts of the world will be under the water.
Yeah.
But that's not been touched upon since Waterworld, probably because of Waterworld. So almost Waterworld 2. Would you have Costner back?
Yeah, given the choice. Certainly as a cameo. Maybe in the Dennis Hopper role.
Have him become the bad guy?
Yeah, he's gone.
Have him,
crazy.
he leads the mermen.
Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
That could work.
There's something in that. I would not have gone there at all.
And maybe I'd call that Waterworld.
Waterworld, lovely. I might have just gone basic, like Return to Waterworld. Just
Under the sea.
Return to what? Under the sea.
Okay.
This time it's personal.
What's your number 3? Hi, Dave here from That Movie List podcast. Now, you know me. I live for the little surprises that life throws at you. Finding a fiver in the pocket of an old coat. Thinking you'd eaten the last biscuit in the tin, only to discover there's an entire second layer. Waking up thinking your alarm will be going off soon, then realising it's 2 a.m. and you can just roll over and go back to sleep. Well, I've got another surprise for you. Remember wrestling from the 90s and early 2000s? Well, it's still happening today under the WWE brand. And even better, the Views from the Sofa Network has a podcast about it to help get you back up to speed. On it, the guys preview the upcoming main events and predict the outcomes of each match as part of an ongoing league. There's also the opportunity for you to win free WWE merch each round by playing along as well. So, if you want to restart your love affair with wrestling and potentially win some merch, why not listen in to the Wrestling Predictcast wherever you get your podcasts from?
My number 3 is... Yeah, my number 3...
Ineligible?
No, I've put arrows to switch them round, I think, but it doesn't really matter. My number 3 is Solo. You know, Solo, a Star Wars story?
Yeah, interesting.
Because I don't think a sequel's coming.
No.
I think because it bombed and they cancelled all the Solo... Sorry, pardon the pun. They cancelled all the standalone Origin stuff.
Yeah.
And they've announced that there's going to be a...
They cancelled like the Boba Fett one?
The Boba Fett's not going to be a film, but there is going to be a series based around his race of people.
Oh, interesting.
And there is going to be an Obi-Wan TV show with Ewan McGregor back. And I think it's going to be a mini-series as opposed to an ongoing series.
Oh, cool.
And I think just because it bombed and Disney panicked and went, we can't have that happen again. And it was a great jumping off point. I thought it was a great, solid prequel movie.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
And it had that moment where a particular bad guy appeared at the end.
Yeah.
The kind of the actual villain of the series, not necessarily that bad guy that appears at the end, but the other villain that we thought was a good guy all the way through, rides off into the sunset. He's got Chewbacca. He's become full Han Solo, but you think there's more stories to be told.
Yeah,
there's so many things, and he was, Aiden, Ein Ehrlich or something. I can't remember his name is, but he's the guy who played Han Solo was amazing as Han Solo.
Oh yeah, he was.
It was as close to young Harrison Ford as I think you can get without going back, without CGI in the guy.
Yeah,
it just worked really, really well, and it's just one of those things where. I mean, the only other film that it felt the same way, and they've just announced a sequel's going to be made, really randomly, was Tomb Raider. Now, it didn't really make my list because I wasn't that bothered about... wasn't enough to be like top 5.
Yeah.
But Tomb Raider was another example, the most recent one, where it was a solid movie, but a very good jumping off point.
Yeah. I thought that was... I thought that was a considerable improvement on the Angelina Jolie ones.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I thought that was a good...
And they've just announced that a sequel is going to be made of that movie. And they've announced the director, and it's someone very random. Oh, that's it, it's Ben Wheatley is the director, the guy who's done really random films like Kill List and A Field in England and stuff that is not Tomb Raider. But they've given him the Tomb Raider movie. So Alicia Vikander's coming back for it. And this feels like that. This feels like it was a great jumping off point. Wasn't the best film in the world, but it was ready for a sequel, and it was good for a sequel, and there was so much story, and it's just been cut down in its prime, and it's infuriating. So I'd have Solo as my my number 3. And
good shout.
I don't know what you call it. It's a weird one, really, because it kind of feels like it would just be Solo Part 2. Star Wars don't really... Star Wars do subtitles, but this doesn't feel like it fits that. The Falcon years.
Solo, only kidding.
Solo, only kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not shocking. We're moving very quickly on.
Good. Right. My number 2 is the Simpsons movie.
Okay.
Because that exceeded all expectations about how good that movie was. I think everyone was really nervous about it because it's like TV shows made into feature-length films typically don't do it very well.
No, just had X-Files before mentioned.
Yeah. And yet the Simpsons movie, I think, was certainly more hit than miss.
It was very funny, very solid movie.
Yeah. So I think there's a potential again to get the old script writers back.
Yep.
Not from the new shows.
No.
But get the original ones back and do a sequel to that movie.
Yeah. I think there's something in that. I think there's absolutely something in that. I'm not entirely convinced they're not doing it. I don't think. I mean, it's one of those things
possibly.
They could well be doing it, but it's a weird one. It's kind of one of those things. I mean, I don't know last time I watched The Simpsons, and I was a huge Simpsons fan. I used to love The Simpsons, obsessed with it, knew everything, every little bit, and then it's just fell off a cliff. I just don't have time for it anymore.
Yeah.
But
it's not an event anymore. It's because it's been going on. It's just a staple, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's very. I mean, to give you an example of that, Kaz is rewatching Friends on Netflix as just a random background fodder, and I haven't watched an episode of Friends in at least 5 years. I'd say at least. And when me and you used to live together, we watched Friends every day. It was a little cycle. Simply, it was like Friends, double bill of Friends, Simpsons was on at some point.
Yeah.
Get drunk, go out.
Yeah.
And essentially, we'd eat somewhere in there too.
Yeah.
So I know Friends inside out, but I've not watched it in long enough that when these episodes come back on, I love them and they're great. And it's great. You get sucked in. You're like, oh, it's this one, yeah.
That's fair.
But you're watching it and you know what the gag's coming. You're like, well, I'm going to wait until I see this gag because that's good. And there's bits you forget about it because you haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
The Simpsons almost needs that.
Yeah, that's fair.
It almost needs to go, we're ending now. You've got 30 seasons of material.
Yeah.
We can just syndicate for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And it almost needs that point where you go back and go, and occasionally Simpsons will be on the background and I will flick through Channel 4 and it'll be the softball episode and you'll go, yeah, I'm going to wait for the bit where this happens. And it is that. It has a bit of nostalgia value. So I think, I mean, the movie's very good as well.
Yeah. They could wrap it all up with the movie.
They should do. But I guess people will still be watching it. They must still be watching it in America.
True.
It must pull in solid enough ratings that they keep, and they don't even renew it a season at a time. They renew it like 3 seasons at a time. Yeah. So,
they could finish it off. They could just call it the Simpsons movie, the finale. And that could be it.
But even if you had the Simpsons movie and just did that every 4 years.
Yeah, true.
Imagine if you had all those writers going around going, right, give us all the best Simpsons gags you can come up with.
Yeah.
And then we pick a story and put in your best Simpsons gags. And that's what we release every 4 years. Yeah. That's the film. And you've got, that's an event.
The only downside to that is that those Simpson writers are 40 years old or 30 years older than they were when they started.
But even the new, there is that. But even the new Simpsons writers, there's got to be moments in those new Simpsons episodes that are brilliant.
I'm sure it's still the same TV show where there is at least one laugh out loud moment every episode. Just because the characters, you can't screw those characters up.
No, you can't. I just think it's so difficult to think of new, refreshing, decent material. I read a thread on Twitter today, it's just a really random thread where people just posted the best signposts from Simpsons episodes. So random. They just went, what's the best signs you ever saw? Yeah. And they're amazing. Just the signposts in the background are incredible. And it's just, you think, well, there's so much more stuff you could do, but if you boiled it down to all those writers could only put the best gags they come up with and you had one shot at that in a 2-hour gap, the material has to be good. And they've kind of proven that it would be with the first one. So, what would you call it?
The Simpsons movie, the finale.
Oh, okay.
So you'd end that as the end.
Fair enough. Right, I'm going very different then.
Go on then.
I'm going for the movie sequel to Dredd.
Dredd. Interesting. Dredd. Okay.
So not Judge Dredd.
Yep.
Not the Sylvester Stallone shocking depiction of the character from 1995.
Carl Urban one.
I'm going for the Carl Urban one.
Okay.
Now the Carl Urban one's a bit unfortunate because it is universally loved. I think it's a great movie. Yeah. It's the perfect depiction of Judge Dredd. I'm a massive Judge Dredd fan. Perfect depiction of Judge Dredd on screen. And it came out at exactly the same time as another movie called The Raid.
Okay, right? I don't remember that one.
The Raid, it was a film, again, very, very good film, about a police officer that goes to investigate a crime and has to start at the bottom of a block of flats and find the bad guy at the top. And he's a kung fu expert. And he very, very... ingeniously fights his way to the top of this building.
Okay.
Dredd is about a bad guy at the top of a building, and Judge Dredd gets locked inside at the bottom and must fight his way to the top.
Right, okay.
Completely unrelated.
Okay.
Completely written separately, just very unfortunate. And it's just their element, and you'd argue Raid's probably a little bit better because Dredd's a little bit random.
Okay.
But there's so much potential for the whole world of Judge Dredd.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, they are making a TV show,
Of course,
to be fair, called Mega City 1, Judge Dredd, and it's going to... they've been working on it for years now.
Right.
My hope is that Carl Urban goes back and does
He was a
that
good
show.
Judge Dredd.
He was a great Judge Dredd, and he's just done The Boys, which is amazing on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So he's not like he's against doing TV shows as a movie star. No. So I think he goes back and does that. But if I could see a movie sequel, I'd much prefer to see Dredd 2. I think it would just be called Dredd 2. I don't think you'd need to do... it doesn't need subtitles. It just needs Dredd 2. Yeah, enough said. I'm going to go watch it.
Not Dreadier.
Not Dreadier. No, not Dread Hard. I'm not having Dread Harder.
Dread Harder.
Right, you're number 2.
My number 1 is...
all that is...
Have we swapped round? Have we swapped round?
I've done Leon, Roger Rabbit, Solo, Dredd.
I know I went first with Happy Gilmore, didn't I?
So you've done...
Okay, yeah, so my number 1 is The Truman Show.
Oh, okay.
I think that could make a really interesting sequel, particularly now with in the internet age.
Yeah.
I think there's an opportunity to do it with vloggers or with like sort of not the Big Brother TV style, but you could create a whole life for someone online, almost like sort of catfish type thing.
Yeah.
But there's something in that space, in that sort of fourth dimension area of the internet, that you could do a Truman Show style.
It lends itself...
movie.
It feels like it lends itself more now than it did back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that was around the Big Brother time, wasn't it? So it was
It's
just
probably a little bit
before
more
Big
that,
Brother,
I think. Because the silly thing is, the Truman Show as a concept doesn't work at all. It's a great idea. It doesn't work. The money, the time, the investment, everything that would go into it would not be worth any ratings or any advertising you get on this thing. Now, you do it no problem at all.
Yeah.
You create a whole world for people and create a whole life for someone. It'd almost be too easy to do.
Yeah. Again, it feels like it was a little bit before its time.
Yeah.
It was very, very forward thinking, that movie.
So would that almost be? You would call it Truman Show 2? What I mean is, it would be a sequel as opposed to a reboot.
I think so. Yeah. It would be the next generation. It's been 20 years since the Truman Show.
You could even have Ed Harris, who's the director in the first one, come, and this is his new project.
Yeah,
you could have Jim Carrey in it.
Yeah,
not as Truman, obviously.
He could be the outside hero trying to
exactly
get them out.
He could be the guy trying to get them out. There's so much potential for it.
Yeah,
that's good. That.
So and it would just be the Truman Show 2.
Truman Show 2. It works. No, but I would, because you could have, I don't know, Truman Tube.
Truman Tube, yeah,
or something like that, couldn't you? Just play, because I think it would have to be internet.
Yes, it would.
So you could do something with that.
Truman.net.
Yeah, Truman.net. It could easily be that, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I like that.
iTruman.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your number 1?
Inside Out. Pixar.
Is there not a sequel to that?
No. Randomly, there isn't a sequel to Inside Out.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think out of every single Pixar movie there is, this one lends itself to a sequel more than any other.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great show. Yeah, because I actually enjoyed that Pixar film.
Yeah, as the movie that proves the rule.
Yeah,
because it's. I mean, what did we get her to? It was her moving house, wasn't it?
Yep.
And starting a new school.
Yep.
There was the short film that covered her potential boyfriend meeting her dad.
Yeah.
So she wasn't involved in it, but those two characters were the inside of their heads.
And that was good.
There's so much more.
Yeah.
There's her whole life where you could be working out what's going on in her head while these things are going on. it feels like, I mean, Inside Out's perfect.
Yeah.
5 stars. It hits everything. It got all the emotional notes. It's so funny. It's so clever. But the short itself that came after it was also as brilliant as the feature length, that you think there's so much more.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, or even if, I mean, you would be inside her head, but there's so many other heads you could be inside seeing what's going on. And it's just, it feels like they might be making it. I might not be aware of this. They might be making an Inside Out too. But they seem to have pushed things, you know, they've done a Monsters Inc. prequel that wasn't necessary.
Didn't need to be made. Yeah.
You've seen Toy Story 4 and didn't think it was that great.
Yeah.
You know, there's how many Cars films are there? This feels like it should be the film that you make the sequel to. Yeah,
I mean, it could also lend itself to a kids' TV show, like a sort of 20-minute episodes of a TV show as well. That could work. But yeah, you're right. That should definitely be a sequel.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they haven't done it. I just think it's got so much potential.
Yeah, I'm with you. In fact, I might even have a little Google to see if there is something in the pipeline, because there must be.
What would you call it? Outside In?
Makes less sense.
It does make less sense. I'm just working with what I've got. Did you have any honourable mentions?
No, I did not. What were your honourable mentions?
My first one was Hancock.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Problem with that is it doesn't really end. The best parts of Hancock are when he's a knobhead superhero.
Yeah.
And he stops being a knobhead superhero.
Yeah.
In fact, that film gets considerably worse when he stops being a knobhead superhero.
Yeah.
I just loved lazy Dick Hancock. I thought that was great. My other one was True Lies.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I didn't put that one on my list because I couldn't remember the film well enough.
It's a great idea. It's a bit Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it came before that. But spy hides that he's a spy from his wife. But then it's Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jamie Lee Curtis remembers at the end that but she discovers, obviously, as the course of the film.
Yeah.
But it's just a very good spy movie. And James Cameron puts together a great action film, and it's it's one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movies. So, yeah, True Lies for me.
Good shout.
And the last one, which was in my list and I took it out, was Arachnophobia.
Nice.
Not enough.
Did they not do another Arachnophobia?
They didn't.
They did a reboot, didn't they?
No, didn't even do a reboot.
There's an original Arachnophobia, isn't? I'm sure they did an Arachnophobia where they had giant.
They didn't. It wasn't a reboot of
spiders.
Arachnophobia. It was another film called Eight-Legged Freaks. It was called.
Yes, you're quite right. Yeah.
But what I love about Arachnophobia is that it's not that. It is spiders. It's household spiders that have. So it's a big tarantula from the jungle mates with a household spider, creates baby spiders that are household spiders but poisonous.
Yeah.
And it attacks us. I love Arachnophobia. I love Arachnophobia because it's really funny, which is meant to be. It's meant to be a comedy.
Yeah.
But it also, after you watch it and you've giggled your way through, you check the lampshade before you turn it off. You check your slippers before you put your foot in. You check your football helmet before you put that on. But it gets you. It has that moment where you're just a little bit.
You can't have your mugs upside down.
You itch. Yeah, you itch all the way through. Yeah, the bit with the mugs, the bit with the cereal, and the spider comes out the nose. It's great, and it is. It's making my skin crawl now. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And I think spiders are heavily underused.
Yeah.
Massively underused, considering they must be the number one phobia across the world.
Such an irrational, particularly in the UK at least, such an irrational phobia.
Yeah.
Like Australia, fine, you can be scared of spiders.
Yeah, right.
Knock yourselves out.
Exactly.
But yeah, here, irrational.
It is. And America as well, I think, to a certain degree. I don't think it's common.
No, I don't think they. Yeah, I think, yeah.
I just think that was in my list. It got pipped out for Leon, but I'd love to see an Arachnophobia. So...
yeah, good shout.
So there we go. Is there an Inside Out sequel coming?
Next year.
Is it really?
Next year, apparently, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, all over that then.
You have your wish.
Do they have a name?
Yes.
What's it called?
Inside Out 2.
You know what? I'm going to leave it to the professionals. They do a much better job than I do.
They do.
So there we go. Let us know what your suggestions are. Movies that should have had sequels. It's at Views from Sofa on Twitter, at Views from Sofa, or search Views from Sofa on Facebook. And I set up an Instagram.
Have you?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
It's got no pictures, got nothing on it. I don't really know what I'm doing. I've earmarked views from the sofa on Instagram. I'm pretty certain I probably couldn't get back into it, to be completely frank with you. But I've set up an Instagram. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to work out what I'm doing with it.
Awesome. Okay.
I couldn't. It seemed that you could do more from your phone on Instagram than you can a laptop.
Yeah, probably.
That probably makes more sense. I couldn't seem to do anything when I was doing the laptop, setting it up.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But the problem is I've got no pictures on my phone that are suitable for the website views. I mean, I've not got. We're going to move swiftly on. So let us know. Get involved. Any last words? Any last words, Dave? Stop dying. 1 hour 13.
Oh God, no. No, end it.
We will see you all in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Bye.